what is a prayer and why do we begin with these prayers? So who wants to start? What is the first thing that we begin with? We chant Omkara 3 times. Why do we do like that? Who wants to share?
Because of the vibrations it brings.
Because of the vibration it brings. Okay, excellent. Any other views? Any other thoughts?
Om is a universal vibration.
Om is a universal vibration. Okay, excellent.
And it's like made of 3 very basic sounds, A, U, and M.
Made of 3 very basic sounds. How do you say it is basic?
Like you can hear it anywhere. Like if you see a baby, that's what the sounds it makes naturally.
Very good. So even a baby can make these sounds. Okay, very good. Then, so why do we then say it 3 times? What is the reason for saying it 3 times? So notice from where the A in the Om, A, U and Ma, right? These are the 3 sounds. So keep your hand here and figure out from where the A is coming. It would be from the pit of your throat. This is the beginning. Yeah. And U somewhere in between. Ooh. Ooh. And Ma. You have to close your lips. So, if you notice, from here to here is your sound apparatus. This is how you make the sound. Any other sound you make is within this range only. Is within this range only. Ka, kha, cha, cha, ta, tha. Whatever else you make is within this. So, between here to here, A and Ma, between here to here is every other sound is arranged within that. So this is one way you can see that, as far as a human being is concerned, humans speech apparatus is concerned, your sounds start from here, whatever the sounds you make, because this is where your sound strings are. So there is air that flows through there are small strings, yeah, and they vibrate. And when they vibrate, based on the frequency of the vibration, different kinds of sounds come. So that apparatus is here. So the basic sound that comes from here is Ah. From there, next, somewhere in between is Ooh. Then So as you can see, it covers the full range of different sounds you can make. So in between the A and the is where all the other sounds that you can ever produce are arranged. So there is one way of understanding how Om is the basic. So like that, in every class, we will understand a little bit more about Om. Why Om is the universal? There are a few more experiments. But why 3 times? Why did we do it 3 times? And why did we do that sound only? You are right. The sound is, it's going to bring positive vibrations. Another reason is, see, our minds, when we are doing something, is all over the place. So we have to bring the mind to focus on what? What should we focus on?
On the task we're doing.
What we're doing at that moment.
Excellent. And what we are doing now. So to bring the mind to now, presence, the present, is why you have chosen a particular sound. And among all the sounds, the fundamental sound is what you have chosen. So thereby, you have brought your attention to current, the present. Why 3 times? Why 3 times? What is the reason for 3 times? Any idea? All right. So, A energizes lower part of our body, hip and below. U energizes middle part of our body. Energizes upper part of our body. So, by saying it, you've essentially energized. And 3 times, because see, there is lower, middle, upper. 3 regions. Yesterday, today, tomorrow. 3. So like that, our bondage in life, meaning our ignorance in life, is because of the combination of the 3 qualities, the Rajo, Tamo, and the Sattva Guna. So Om is the one which can help you deliver from all these kinds of the combination of the 3. It can help you go beyond the 3. So like that, there are many deeper levels of understanding. As we go further, we can dwell into that. But for today, is this clear? So far, is it clear? Okay. So, Megha, can you summarize what you understood from the discussion so far? Yeah, tell me whatever you understood. Are you able to hear us?
Yes.
Okay. So, can you tell what you understood? Is there anything that you understood? Whatever you understood, you can say. Not able to hear you, Megha. You are muted.
I understood that, but I can't tell it in my word.
Tell in your words yet, is it? Okay, all right. No problem. Think about it. You can later also, you can tell. Okay, all right. Does Anita or Aditi, one of you want to quickly summarize what you understood?
I'll go, Uncle.
Yes.
So, Om is like universal language which anyone can say, and it has very calming vibrations that it brings about. And it's also it has this ability to get you to focus on what you're doing at the moment, so that your mind is not thinking of all the other thoughts that are unnecessary. It energizes your body. A is for the lower part, hip and below. U is for the middle region, and is for the top region. So it energizes your body also.
Excellent. Very nice. Anything else? Anybody? Anita or Aditya, you want to add anything more?
Yeah, and we say it 3 times because that's also a kind of universal number, because anyway we see it as upper, middle, bottom, left, middle, center. Left, middle, right. Things like that. So 3 is also a very common number.
Reoccurring pattern in the nature.
Yeah.
Okay. So because we are bound by the reoccurring pattern in nature. So to go beyond that, we use the vehicle called Om. All right. Okay, good. So like this, we will also understand the prayers one by one in every session, one of the prayer. Because it's very important that you need to know what you are saying and why you are saying what you are saying. All right. So shall we take the next step? I'll stop the sharing. So which shloka were we supposed to contemplate today? 6.2 and 6.3, right? Anita, Aditi, you have not yet presented 6.2 and 6.3.
Yes, Uncle.
And Megha, have you prepared also? Have you also prepared for 6.2 and 6.3? Okay, very nice. Very nice. Then shall we begin? Who wants to go first? Yes.
We'll go, uncle.
You want to go, Anita? Or Aditi?
Both of us do it together.
You want to do it together? Okay. Perfect.
One after the other we'll do.
One after the other. Okay. All right. I'm allowing you to share the screen.
ॐ ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः saṅgāsteṣhūpajāyate saṅgāt sañjāyate kāmaḥ kāmāt krodho bhijāyate. Dhyāyata, contemplating, viṣhayān, sense objects, puṁsaḥ, of a person, saṅgah, attachment, teṣhu, to them, upajāyate, arises, saṅgah, from attachment, sañjāyate, develops, kāmaḥ, desire, kāmāt, from desire, krodha, anger, abhijāyate, arises. So this shloka is saying that as we interact with all the objects, we develop a sense of attachment towards them. And this attachment eventually leads to desire, which makes us become angry. Uncle, so the example I thought of was in the movie Minions. So there's this very powerful stone called the Zodiac Stone. And these group of villains had heard about it and spoken about it, and they really wanted it. So they had developed a sense of attachment to it when they finally got it, and they were very possessive over it. When it was stolen, they became really angry, which proves that desire leads to attachment. And once that attachment becomes too strong and then it's taken away, you can get unnecessarily angry.
Very nice. How about you personally? Do you have any personal examples?
Yes, uncle, I do. In 2020, I used to spend a lot of time on the device, which was not at all good for me. But then at that time, I didn't realize that because I was too attached to it. And when my mom used to take it away so that I focus on studying, I used to get angry with, I don't know.
Excellent. How did you come out of that sense of anger or that sense of attachment?
I have to say that my mom taking it away did help a lot because I used it less. But then at a certain point, I also realized that when it wasn't around me, I was doing much better in everything, that all the activities that I was taking part in. So that helped me realize that maybe this is not that good.
So one is initially there was a restraint that helped, but it did not remove the anger completely, right?
Yeah, not completely. But when I understood why my mom was doing that and why it's not good for me, it's like a natural restraint formed. So when I have to, I'll use it. But when I don't have to, I won't use it.
Excellent, excellent. So essentially, initially restraint helped, but later understanding helped you to completely be calm and composed.
Yes, uncle.
Very nice. Anyone has a question for Anita about what she has narrated so far? Do you all agree? Is that making sense to all of you? If anybody has any disagreement, ask the question. Or if you have a different point to add to what she's saying, you can ask the question. Good. Then the next question, before we go to Aditi's presentation, is so though sometimes we may know that something is bad, but still how the attachment continues.
Uncle, Uncle, sometimes I think that attachment continues also because of denial of that person, because I'm sure that at one point everyone realizes what is good for them and what is not, but they don't want to believe it entirely, so then they don't do anything about it. But then there are some who will realize and do something on their own, and some others who will be helped by people around them.
That is how one comes out of it. But my question is it that you can naturally come out of this sense of attachment by understanding, or is it that sometimes you may understand but still you are unable to come out? So is it possible like that?
Yes, uncle, that also is right. So when you become too dependent on something, for example, medicines also, if you take a medicine for too long, and then after that you feel like you're not able to function without that. So even though you know that it's not doing anything good to your body and probably causing harm, you don't want to stop taking it.
Aditi has a point to add.
Uncle, I think when you understand something, when you try to understand, the next thing to do is to accept it. So unless you can actually accept what you have understood, you won't be able to carry it out.
Okay, say that again.
Uncle, I think so now we're saying that we have to understand the problem, or like understand why what we're doing has to happen. So after we understand, or after we realize that, the next thing to do is to accept it. So like you said, if we understand the issue, like what is going on, but we're not able to get out of it, so that is when we have to accept the fact that this is the reality and now I have to get out of it.
So you are saying that there is only an understanding, but there is a not an acceptance. Therefore, one can continue to be dependent or be in that sense of attachment. Is that what you are saying?
Yes, uncle.
Okay. What about Aditya? Does Aditya have any opinion?
That's it. I fully covered it.
What do you think about what Anita just now said and what Aditi added?
Aditi's point is a little confusing, but I think it is true, because you have to first understand a problem in order to solve it. But sometimes like I think like addiction, people who are addicted to something also can't always solve it, because like smoking, for example, people understand that it's harmful, but they still do it. So then what is the solution? When you even understand the problem and you understand that's harming you, but you choose to do that, then what?
So that is a question. So is there a way out of such a phenomena? Does it mean that the understanding is not complete, or why would somebody continue even when they understand that smoking is injurious, or too much of dependence on the device is injurious? Why would they continue?
Maybe they choose to ignore it, like they're blinded by their attachment to it.
Blinded by their attachment. So does it then mean understanding is not complete?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Aditi.
Uncle, I don't think in this case, understanding is incomplete. Like I said, so you know that this is happening, but you don't want to believe or accept the fact that it is happening to you. So you don't want to give it up.
So basically the understanding is incomplete, right?
No, but you know it is happening, but you don't want to believe that it is happening to you.
You think you are above that. You keep saying that, no, I have so complete control. I know how much I'm using. Or how
Yeah,
much
you think you will be fine.
I'll be fine. Okay, so that's the point you are making. Yeah, Anita, what do you feel?
Uncle, I feel a little differently, because sometimes people, because they get too dependent on something, they may start feeling like their happiness or their ability to continue with something completely depends on that one thing, and that if they don't have that, then they cannot go on.
So the sense of happiness is lacking. Without
They,
that,
yes, uncle, they believe that, not
they
that it
believe that.
actually is.
Excellent point. Excellent point. So the sense of gratification or the sense of the pleasure or the sense of the happiness is missing without that. So therefore, they continue to really depend on it. So which essentially
Yes.
brings back to the point that Aditya made, which is then it means that there's an incomplete understanding about what really brings us happiness, isn't it? So there's an incomplete understanding about what really brings us happiness. So therefore, they continue to depend on it and seek those small pleasures with the belief that this is what is giving me pleasure or happiness. Is this conversation making sense to Megha?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any point you want to add or anything like that?
No.
No. Okay. All right. Wonderful. Okay, so let's listen to Aditi's interpretation of the shloka.
So this is an example I like sort of want to relate to how our daily life goes on. So I'm just going to read it out. So when something new, when something new comes into our life, and then slowly we start to experience it even more. So in this, I'm going to give an example of listening to music. So if you start listening to music newly, and that like to it develops, then is when you get attached. And that feeling of you're getting attached to it is what you like, rather more than the music that you're actually listening to. So it's that you're performing the activity, you're getting attached to that feeling that you get when you're doing the activity. So even when you're around certain people, it might not be those necessarily those people that you enjoy, but that feeling of being around those people that you enjoy. So somewhat like a distraction. So then when that activity, when you can't do it anymore, then you think that you lose that feeling that you had, and then that turns into anger because you feel like it's taken away.
Excellent. So there is a sense of dependency or seeking of some kind of an happiness, seeking of some kind of a pleasure out of that association.
And uncle, I think for different people, it's different. So for most people, this comes from not really understanding where your happiness comes from. So people think like they'll think that only being around these people or listening to this kind of music will give me that happiness. They don't realize that without that also you can be happy with your natural self without doing anything. But for few people, it's also like people have told you that without all that you can still be happy and you don't need to be dependent on that. But because you like that feeling so much, you don't want to leave it. So you're trying to deny it for yourself and you still continue to it.
So which is essentially what is called as addiction. Because addiction is a complete dependence on a particular object for your sense of pleasure or sense of well-being. Without that object, you don't feel complete. So you feel incomplete. Very nice. Very nice. Anyone has a question to Aditi? Is what Aditi saying agreeable to all of you? How come, Aditi, you said something that everybody agrees? So when everybody agrees, the statement that you made, what do you call such a statement? Let's say you make a statement. Let's say you make a statement. The statement is, I saw a dog and it had 2 big wings and it was flying like an eagle. And what will everybody in this room say to you?
then obviously it's not true.
So what is the word they will use to that statement?
It's a lie.
It's a lie. But now you have made some statement that everybody seems to be agreeing. So what would they call the statement as?
Truth.
Truth. So do
Truth
you
in
all-
their perspective.
Sorry?
It's truth in their perspective.
But if it is truth only from their perspective, then there are how many people are sitting here?
5.
So all the 5 of us are agreeing to what you are saying. So then it must be a common truth, right?
Mm.
So it is not necessarily my truth versus your truth. So such a truth, what do you call as?
A universal truth.
A universal truth. So someone who says and talks about universal truth, what do you call such a person as?
Genius.
Good. Ajnani, right? Ajnani is someone who has realized universal truths. But Ajnani is not just realized, but applies that. If you have just realized, but if you're not applying, then you will be a Pandita. So are you a Pandita or are you a Jnani? As far as this particular statement is concerned, whatever you just now stated.
Somewhere in between.
Somewhere in between. Good. Very good. That self-evaluation is extremely important. So whatever Anita and Aditi have said, Megha and Aditya, is it clap worthy? Shall we clap? Very nice. Wonderful. Good. So shall we listen to Megha for 2.62 and then go to 2.63, or do you want to present 2.63 and then go to let her talk?
No, uncle, she can do it now.
We can finish one shloka
and then move, right? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Is Megha ready to present 2.62?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you want to present? Is there something that you want to show, or you want to only talk?
Just talk. I don't know to present.
No problem. Don't worry. You can chant the shloka and then you can tell your meaning of that shloka. Need help?
Yes.
Okay, what help do you need? Do you want me to show the chant on the screen?
Yes. Please.
Okay, just one moment, just one moment. Let me bring up. Do you need help with chanting also?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to repeat? Who wants to help her? Can anybody help her? Aditya, do you want to help her? Okay. So can you repeat after Aditya? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dhyāyato viṣhayān puṁsaḥ.
Dhyāyato viṣhayān
saṅgas teṣhūpajāyate.
saṅgas teṣhūpajāyate.
saṅgāt sañjāyate kāmaḥ.
saṅgāt sañjāyate kāmāt.
kāmāt krodho bhijāyate.
kāmāt krodho bhijāyate.
Very nice. Very nice, Megha. Yes.
This shloka actually means we will, whenever we get attached to some object or someone, we will want it and we can't concentrate on anything else. But then but when it will be, we don't have it, or we don't have that thing or anyone, we will be very angry and we'll be destroyed there. For example, if my friend, I want if my friend and I are angry with each other, but then if I actually want her to be my friend again, and if I ask her if she would like to be my friend again and she rejects, I'll get angry because I was attached to her.
Very nice. Very nice. Excellent example. Wonderful. Anything more you want to say, Megha?
No.
Okay. Does anyone have a question to Megha? No. Wonderful. So what Megha said also is accepted by everyone. So Megha also then must have said what? What is the kind of the statement Megha made?
Universal truth.
Vareva. Very good. So are you a Pandita in the universal truth, or are you a Jnani in the universal truth about this? Pandita. Okay, so you're still applying.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I wish you become a Jnani, okay? Very nice. Good, good. All right. So, shall we move on to the next shloka? So, 2.63. Anita, Aditi, you want to share first, or do you want Megha to share first? What do you want?
Ankur, I'm fine with anything.
Fine with anything. Okay. What is that thing that Megha feels like, or what does Megha prefer? Do you want to present after Anita and Aditi have presented, or you want to present first?
I want to present after Anita and Aditi.
Okay, after the Akkas have presented. Okay, Akkas. There you go. First you have to present.
Krodhaḥ bhavati sammohaḥ, sammohāt smṛiti-vibhramaḥ, smṛiti-bhranśhād buddhi-nāśho, buddhi-nāśhāt praṇaśhyati. Anger leads to clouding of judgment, which results in bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, the intellect gets destroyed, and when the intellect is destroyed, one is ruined. Krodhaḥ means from anger. Bhavati is comes. Sammohaḥ, clouding of judgment. Sammohāt, from clouding of judgment. Smriti, memory. Vibhrama, bewilderment. smṛiti-bhramśhād, from bewilderment of memory. Buddhi-nāśho, destruction of intellect. Buddhi-nāśhāt, from destruction of intellect. praṇaśhyati, one is ruined. So when we get angry, we don't think straight, and our judgment becomes very biased and clouded. Once this happens, our memory becomes confusing because we like to believe certain things when we are angry, which is not necessarily the truth. And this leads to the ruin of the intellect, and it eventually causes the ruin of oneself. So the example that I thought of was from a book called Pride and Prejudice. So this character called Elizabeth heard something about a certain guy called Darcy from another person, and that person was lying to others to make himself seem likable when he was the one who was actually at fault. But Elizabeth, without knowing the full facts, believed everything, and she was already very biased. And when something that in her eyes, which Darcy did, looked wrong, Elizabeth got very angry. And in this anger, she started judging him more and saw everything that he did as an evil deed, even if it wasn't necessarily bad or good. And despite instances that kept saying that maybe Darcy is a good person, unlike she believes, she wanted to stick to her opinion because she did not want to believe that she was wrong, and because she was too angry with him for that. And this eventually keeps troubling her conscience. So at a point, she realizes that she was wrong, and she removes all her biases. But then, if she continued believing that he was a bad person, then it would have ruined her.
Excellent. Again, it would be really great, if you can relate to your own experiences. Definitely the examples you're bringing are excellent, each one of you. But what I would like all of you to notice is, it is not as much as about giving a particular external example, but how it can be applied to me, that is you. So is there anything that you would like to share in that perspective?
Uncle, so when Aditi and I fight, and both of us think that it's the other person's fault, we get angry before wanting to listen to the other person and why that person did that. So sometimes you may believe that it's that person's fault, but it's actually your fault. But because you're too angry, you don't realize that.
You don't want to accept that.
Yeah, you don't want to accept that. But then when that happens later, when I think about it and I realize that it was my fault, I feel very bad about it. So I think what's important here is, when something happens and you are not sure of all the facts and you're not sure of everything that has happened, then instead of coming to conclusions and getting angry, I think the most important thing is to stay calm. Because if you're calm, it's okay to still think that the other person is wrong, but because you're calm, then you're at least giving that person a chance to speak to you and a chance for yourself to understand what the other person is saying. But when you're angry and you don't listen, then you're unnecessarily damaging things.
Excellent. Very nice example. So one is, when the situation is happening, to stay calm. Let's say for whatever reason you did not stay calm and you said something and later you realized that, it was indeed your mistake. What is the right next step to take?
To go to Aditi and tell her that I was wrong and to apologize.
Very nice. Very nice. So in our day-to-day life, 2 words we often neglect, and because of which we get into all troubles in life. Can anybody guess what the 2 words are?
I'm sorry.
Sorry and thank you.
Excellent. I'm sorry and thank you. We think that it is below us to go and say sorry to maybe, our own brother, our own sister, our own father, our own mother, or our own children. And thank you also. These 2, when you practice, just like how you practice math, just like how you practice singing, just like how you practice dance, just like how you practice any other skill in life, a heartfelt sorry and a heartfelt thank you will remove that last statement. What is the last statement? It keeps troubling our conscience. You said no, keeps troubling me. Keeps troubling me because deep within it's not something that what I did is correct. So a heartfelt thank you, a heartfelt sorry will remove that guilt. Wonderful. Very nice, Anita. Any question to Anita? Does anyone have a question to Anita? All right. Then let's listen to Aditi's interpretation.
Uncle, so this is an example of myself that I want to give. So it's an example of how others' opinions can falter your actual capabilities. So, for example, I'm good at something, and I believe that I will be able to do a lot in that field, and I believe that I'm good at it. But once someone criticizes, or when someone gives other opinions saying that it could have been done like this, or you're actually not that good, how even the smallest of things, they sort of make you feel like you lose faith in yourself. So how even such a small thing can fully destroy the fact that you were able to do that earlier. And sometimes opinions like this, they can even make you lose interest in whatever you were good at, and then finally you won't be doing it anymore. So you're basically being biased by other opinions while you're not even considering your opinion or what is actually happening. So that happens when like you're taking too many opinions into consideration and not actually believing in yourself.
How is that related to 2.63's meaning? Can you go back
Uncle,
to
so
the 2.63's meaning? Yeah. So it says anger leads to clouding, which results in bewilderment of memory. And when memory is bewildered, intellect gets destroyed. So the cause of this destruction of the intellect is anger, isn't it? So the example you're giving, how is that related to this shloka?
Uncle, so when you're doing something and someone says something wrong about it, because you don't want to, like earlier, like what we were saying, we don't want to accept the fact that we're not good at it, or sometimes maybe we're taking too many opinions into consideration. You get angry because you think like people don't believe in you, and you also start to lose faith in yourself. So anger by itself, it develops. And because of that anger, you start again, you'll doubt yourself even more, and because of that you might even stop doing what you were good at. So then that is how, like, clouding of judgment. So a lot of other people have clouded your judgment of what you can actually do. And then intellect being destroyed is that now you have no faith in yourself, and you're not even continuing that activity anymore, thinking that you're not good at it.
Very nice, very nice. So the fundamental cause in your example is anger, and from there everything else developed. And anger came because you had too many opinions from others in your mind. Okay. So then how to choose the right one?
I have not, I don't know if it's right for me to say this because I've not actually applied it, but I have been told that taking opinions from the people who matter. So a lot, like on your way when you're doing different things, a lot of people will give you certain judgments, but the ones who matter, like your family and your close friends, they most of them, like, they'll actually wish well for you, and they'll tell you what is actually right and wrong. So only taking not only taking, but considering opinions from them will help us make whatever we're doing better, and it won't demotivate us too much.
Okay. Any other thought? Yeah, go ahead, Anita.
Uncle, I agree with the thought that you can take opinions from people who matter to you. But then I think in that situation, you can again apply this shloka. So when you're listening to opinions, instead of getting angry, you can maybe ask them why they feel that you're not good at it, and then ask them what you can do better so that you can improve yourself at that, instead of getting angry as your first reflex.
Very nice. What about Aditya? Does Aditya have an opinion about what?
Like sometimes dismissing judgments is really important, because like hundreds of people have like hundreds of opinions, but what really matters is what you feel is right, and you can judge what is right by seeing how beneficial it is to people around you. Yeah.
Okay. But sometimes in the short run, whatever the choice that that you may be picking or that may be given to you may in the short run hamper something around you. For example, taking the example of the device attachment that Anita brought up earlier, or Aditi. So when that is taken away, there is definitely a feeling that it is not right. I know my limits. I know how I can handle it. So then how do you handle such a conflict?
You should understand, like you shouldn't think about only right now, you should think about your future also in that context.
So how do you think about your future? Because your future is something that is not necessarily known, isn't it? And it is something that you're imagining. You're only seeing from the standpoint of, okay, I'm seeing so many people use the device. Nothing has happened. So what is wrong with it? As far as cigarette is concerned, maybe because a lot of times on the movies and so many places they show people suffering from cancer, there may be a fear that, this may happen. But with respect to a device or anything like that, there is no such a fear, no? Nobody has said that people can lose their mind. People have gone crazy. People have got distressed because they have been watching too much of whatever, Instagram or Facebook or whatever, right? So you don't find such things. So then how do you know it's right or wrong? Somebody may be just saying it's just to spite you or just to remove it from you. Is the question I'm raising clear to Anita, Aditi? Then how do you decide?
Uncle, if I was in a situation like that, I'm sure I wouldn't be able to think like this. But I think if it's someone who's a little smarter than me and maybe has a little more self-control, then maybe having the mindset that it's a person who wants only good things for you and who's taking care of you. So as long as it's people close to you, they only have your good intentions in mind. And so they're not doing anything wrong.
So a sense of faith, a sense of a trust is what you are saying. So sometimes when you lack the information, you simply have to trust. Okay. Any other views? Aditi, anything from your side?
Uncle, I think by asking more on like different people's opinions, only from the people that actually matter, because they're not wishing anything wrong, they're only wishing everything well. So when you try to understand what different people are trying to say, you can come to a conclusion. So like consulting different.
Excellent, very nice. On any given matter where you yourself may not have clarity, get as many different perspectives as possible without necessarily accepting or rejecting or denying or downplaying any one of the opinion. Collect it. Then examine it. Then come to your own inner clarity. But do we do it? That's the question I want you to consider. If you're saying it, you're a Pandita. If you're doing it, you're a Jnani. Are you a Pandita or are you a Jnani? That's what you should be determining. And only you can determine that. From outside, somebody can label you as anything. But it is you who has to decide. It's what you just now said, Aditi, is the essence of how one comes to a sense of clarity about a given subject. Because I'm not knowledgeable on every single topic that I come across. So in order for me to develop that understanding, that knowledge, that deep insight, I first have to listen to, put the right question, Examine it from multiple viewpoints. Not simply Google it and, okay, whatever Google says is correct. Is Google the best source? Is Google the best source, Aditya?
No, anyone can put whatever they want.
Anyone can put whatever they want. So you can use Google as one of the source. But on that given topic, you have to examine. Examine what is the topic, who are the right people I want to talk about, and then get that insight, input, then have my own understanding. All right, excellent. Any other questions to Anita Aditi? Any questions? Okay. Shall we clap for them, Anita Aditi? Very nice. Very nice. Shall we listen to Megha now? 2.63.
Yeah.
I'll bring up the screen for you. Now this time, will Anita Akka, Aditi Akka help her to chant?
I actually can chant this sloka because I had chanted it last.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Anita Akka, Aditi Akka. You lost the chance. Okay. Good, Megha.
Krodhaḥ bhavati sammohaḥ, sammohāt smṛiti-vibhramaḥ, smṛiti-vibhramaḥ, buddhi-nāśho, buddhi-nāśhāt praṇaśhyati. This shloka means whenever we are whenever we are angry at someone and we try to destroy them, actually the anger will cloud us and we'll try to destroy them, which will make us destroyed. Like for example, I'll narrate a story called the tailor. Once there was a tailor who was arrogant, and people had only a chance to go to him to stitch their clothes. And once when another tailor came to the same place to do the tailor's job because she just knew that profession, the people started going to her because she was very polite. This angered the tailor who was arrogant and wanted to destroy her. But his wife had actually told the situation to the tailor, and the tailor left. And she sold the shop to the tailor. But since he didn't know about it, he went and he wanted to destroy that shop, and he destroyed it completely. But when he came to know about that it was sold to him and it is his shop, he was completely bewildered. I mean, he was destroyed. There's another example, like in the morning, some mornings, like when there will be much mist, the mist will be covered on the sun. Here the sun is the intellect and the mist is clouding of judgment. And this, we can't see anything because of the cloud, the mist. Where should we go? We need something to lead us there.
Very nice example. Like how cloud can, or the mist can cloud the sun, anger clouds our intellect. Very nice. Any question to Megha by anyone? Okay. Very nice, Megha. Excellent. Excellent. So we are at the end of the time. So before we conclude, just quickly, I want all of us to reflect on this picture. So like how you have eyes, ears, nose, hands, these are all something that you can see, touch, feel. So your inner instrument, what is called as mind in English, in Samskrita or in Vedantic literature, it is called as Antakarana. And Antakarana has 4 parts: Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. So Chitta is where you have stored all your memories. It's like a dictionary. When someone asks you what's your name, what's your age, where you are born, what's your favorite food, all these kinds of information. Do you know Himalayas? Have you been to that movie? Have you seen that place? All that is stored in your dictionary called Chitta. Okay? And what comes from your eyes, ears, nose and all are purely nothing but sensations, signals. Simply, when you see someone, simply the information first comes, the signal comes, the sensation comes. There is no understanding of that. It's when it comes to the inner mind, that is the inner instrument, that the intellect then looks into the memory, like as if it's opening a dictionary. When you don't know a word, what do? You look at the dictionary. So it looks at the dictionary and says, this is my friend. So it then runs. But all of this happens in such a split second that you fail to notice it. Just like how when you pick something, unless you are paying attention, you would have picked and you would have moved ahead. You wouldn't have paid notice. You wouldn't have paid attention. So like that here, how your inner mind is working, your inner instrument is working, when you pay attention, you can notice all of this. So sensation comes, your intellect dips into memory, and at that time, you take a role. So for example, somebody comes and says, "You stupid." Then in that moment, you may feel insulted. When you feel insulted, when you feel, I am very intelligent. When you have a I am intelligent feeling, so that I is this ego, intelligent ego. Where is it stored? In your memory. And how did that come into you? Maybe you did something earlier. Maybe let's say somebody gave you some math problem and you solved all of it and they clapped. Wow, you're so intelligent. Then you have written in your memory, I am intelligent. So now when somebody says, you stupid, so that intelligent memory, that intelligent, I am intelligent, that feeling, that ego is getting affected. Now that one feels, oh, I am intelligent. How can you say stupid? So now that comes. So who decides? Intellect decides. I have to now shout something back. So like that, like how your eyes, ears, nose, and all your body organs function, you have to become aware of how your inner instrument functions. So these 4 parts, mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankara. So notice how you are judging something. Notice how you are reacting. When you become aware of the thoughts that are arising, then you can simply notice and choose the right one. Otherwise, you may be reacting. Reacting is whatever impulse that comes. Whereas responding is, you're very aware what I should say, and by saying this, what will happen. Then it is response. Reaction is, you're unaware. You simply, the moment somebody comes and says, hey, stupid, is this how you do? You say, suddenly you shout back, you can't be stupid, are you idiot? Then, verbal duel starts, and then it can lead to maramari. all that will start, right? So this is how the saga happens. This is how the drama unfolds. This is how the mechanism of how, the reactions come from the mind. So be aware, be aware, be alert, be alert. Only you can be alert all the time. Because only you know what is running in your mind. Only you know how to handle it. So though all of this is said, though you may have realized, you may still end up being only a Pandita. You may remember all this. You can recall all this. But only when you start applying, you will be able to move into the realm of being a Jnani. And why is it important? Because only by being a Jnani can you truly enjoy life. Otherwise, your enjoyment of life is half or quarter or maybe very less, because you're constantly battling. You're constantly battling. So you have a choice. You don't have to battle. You can flow like water. So you choose to flow like water or battle like the two stones. If there are two stones, they don't flow easily with each other. But if there is stone and water, water simply flows around it. Water has no problem with the stone. But two stones, they may have a problem, especially big stones. So the stone equivalent here is the, you know who I am, that sense. So be aware, be alert, be watchful. All right? Any questions, anybody? If there are no questions, then we will end our session for today with the prayers. Can Anita Aditi lead us in the prayers? When you complete the prayer, I'll move to the next slide. Yeah? Yeah, you can start chanting, and we'll all be on mute and we'll chant with you.
Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma shanti shanti shanti. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Uncle, do we read this?
Yeah, read it. You know how to say it, right?
Uncle, as in read it.
Okay. Please repeat after me. Nanu nanembudu nanalla. Ideha manabuddhi nanalla. Satchidanandatma Shivananu nane. Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. Antarjyotihi, Bahirjyotihi, Pratyajyotihi, Paratpara, Jyotirjyotihi, Swayam Jyotihi, Atmajyotihi, Shivosmyaham. Atmadarshanam Brahmadarshanam, Brahmadarshanam, Satyadarshanam. Om Sahana Vavatu, Sahanau Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu, Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Thank you all. Thank you very much. We'll stop now.